But yeah, just for our last little warm-up session, I thought we could do just a couple of questions of traditional flap trivia. Starting with, which of these four artists I'm about to read is famous for painting huge close-ups of flowers? Is it Mary Cassatt, Georgia O'Keeffe, Camille Claudel, or Sonia Deloney?
Okay.
Is it Georgia O'Keeffe?
It is. My computer's tied down, but it was. I would go show you the Georgia O'Keeffe print in my homework. And then, how long did Leonardo da Vinci spend painting the Mona Lisa's lips? Is it 8 months, 12 years, 10 weeks, or 2 years?
8
12
months.
years.
8 months is a good guess.
Sorry,
what was your
12,
3 years.
12 years.
12 years is another good guess. Are there any other final guesses before we reveal the answer?
2 years, maybe?
3 years is good. It is actually 12 years.
Wow.
But yeah, 12 years just on one part of the painting. Did anyone happen to watch the any of the Democratic National Convention or see clips of it on the internet? I did.
No.
Watch a little bit. But if you guys want to take a guess, who spoke more? Was it, for the most part, was the majority of the speaking time women speaking, or the majority of the speaking time men speaking?
Women.
Yeah, you're right. Which is, that's. What do you guys think of that? Do you think that's is it a good, meaningful move, or is it? Well, I'm not sure how to suggest a negative alternative to that, but what do you guys think about that?
I think it's a step in the right direction. Maybe the next time that there's, what is it, like the Democratic Convention? Was it the convention? Yeah, that there'll be more like non-binary people included. But a step in the right direction.
Hi. I also think it would be important for there to be intersectionality, like just saying women speaking isn't really, it just feels like, like, is it just like, otherwise privileged women? Like, what about like disabled women, women of color, queer women? And also, I feel like if this is going to sound really cynical, but like, I don't really know if it matters if like, they're all like, privileged individuals who are like, all basically saying the same thing. Like, I feel like there need to be more unique perspectives and stuff. And yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very, very insightful. Now, we have a bit of a, well, at least I think it's a fun activity. How many of you guys have played a Kahoot before? Okay, we've got good uptake on the Kahoot. Is there anyone that has not played a Kahoot before? Okay, for the few of you that have not played a Kahoot, I will explain how it works. I'm going to share my screen, and when I share my screen, what you will see. Well, you'll hear the music, but what you'll see is this option. It says join at www.kahoot.it or with the Kahoot app. And this is a quiz game. And what you guys can do is you can pull out your phones or open up another tab in your browser, and you should be able to answer the questions that will appear up here. And it's a little bit of a, it's a quiz competition. You are timed. You get points for answering answers correctly and quickly. Does that make sense to people? Is there anything further I can explain? Aha, we have one person in the Kahoot. Thank you, Alex.
So we need to download Kahoot app?
You can download the app if you want, or you can just go to www.kahoot.it, and I'll send that out in the chat because I should have done that earlier. Yeah, okay, we have many people in the Kahoot. Maya, Alex, Trinity, Nicola, and Alex. But there are 16 people in the participants list and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 10 people we're still looking for. So, 8. Pardon me. Well, did you count it there? I didn't count it.
Wait, do you want us to use our real name, or can we have like other stuff?
You can use
Pardon me?
you can have a fun name if you want.
Yes, you could put a fun name. Right. How is it going for people? Any issues joining the Kahoot? Rule 14. That's awesome. So I think we're just looking for 2 more people. If those people would like to join. If everyone is, there's someone that is, how do I word this? If you're
One
ready
moment.
to play, or you are choosing to abstain from this Kahoot, although I don't see why you would, because it's so much fun. Just give us a thumbs up. $50. Okay, I think it's just Maya who is just getting something better with her Wi-Fi, and then we should be good to go with our fun. Aha. Okay, we are ready to go. Is everyone ready? I am. We're starting it. Whoops. So in the real Kahoot, the answers will be correct.
Wait.
And those of you who clicked Mexico will have got that correct. My deepest apologies. Clearly,
Wait, what's the question?
The practice question. So that one wasn't worth any points. But for those of you who haven't played a Kahoot before, you should see how it works. And you should also see that Mexico was clearly the correct answer there. But I promise that I don't believe that that occurs again. Okay, on to the next question. So far, Taran, very good, 0 points.
Can't see any question. How am I supposed to play this?
The question. Oh shoot.
Oh, maybe you can like read out the question, because some of us have like different topics.
The question should show on the shared screen.
The questions should show up on the screen that I'm sharing, and you'll be able to answer from your phone or other device.
Out.
Does that make sense? So you should be able to see the questions on the in Zoom as I share them, and then the answers. The only answers you'll see are the yellow circle or the blue square or the blue diamond, and then you should be able to answer in wherever you've opened that up. Sound good? Of course, I will read them out. That is a very good idea, Sophia. Okay, on to the next question. But in first place, Sophia right now. The 4 P's are, in order: present, practice, perform, produce; present, practice, produce, publish; please pay up, prorogue Parliament; and practice, produce, present, publish.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I think I got that wrong.
Very good. It seems like a lot of people got that one right. That's good. That means we've done hopefully a good job at reviewing what the 4 P's are. But yeah, so we want to start with the presentation, and then we'll practice what we learned in that presentation, move on to a production aspect for everyone. And then the 4th one is sometimes a little optional, but it's publishing what we've produced to the broader world. Perform isn't one of them. And for the green one, we just switch things around. And for those of you who have been following Canadian politics, please, Governor General Julie Payette, prorogue parliaments as Justin Trudeau. On to the next question. Maya, very well done. Lucas, a strong competitor.
There's no stopping me.
For those of you who thought us here at FLAP and VAX came up with the 4P theory, that's very generous of you. But we adapted it from Noam Chomsky, a very well-known American linguist. Well, perhaps not very well-known, but a well-known American linguist. Is it helpful for you guys if I read out the questions, or does that make it more confusing somehow? Well, I don't mind the sound of my own voice, so unless you have any objections, I'll continue to read them out. Maya and Alex, good job, Kaiko. Very well done too. Question 5. In the videos and discussions we have had, we focused on which specific 3 ways change can be affected: local change, natural change, and global change; personal change, group change, and social change; individual change, collective change, and system change; or pocket change, spare change, and loose change. That is amazing. Nearly everyone got that one right. We can talk about pocket change, spare change, and lost change later. And personal change, group change, and social change is close. Those are just not the specific terminology that we used. Well done, everyone, but no change. You'll see an image here. Can you see that well? But the definition is the interconnected nature of social categorization, such as race, class, and gender, as they apply to a given individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage. Almost everyone got that right. Interconnectedism is not a word as far as I know. Marina, congratulations on your answer streak. True or false? FLAP is a nonprofit. For almost all of you, that is true. We are part of the broader Vancouver Arts Colloquium Society nonprofit. And just by being a part of this program, you're helping to support the important work that it does. Awesome. Yeah. Alice, you said that you're not getting any points. I believe you should be. You just might not be showing up on the very top of the scoreboard, but I'm sure you're doing very well.
It always says it's like time up after I click on the answer.
We'll discuss this in a second, but in our debate, we considered universal basic income, guaranteed minimum income, a negative income tax, or we had a debate. So almost nearly everyone got this right. A universal basic income is what we consider. A guaranteed minimum income is a similar concept, but it's applied as a top up to those below a threshold. And a negative income tax is a income tax structure that subsidizes those in the lower end of an income. But you all remember that we had a debate, which was awesome. Alice, is it working any better for you?
No. I got all the questions right, but then.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. Ultimately, though, this is all just for our fun, and the winner at the end is only a winner for bragging rights. Really, we just want to review what we've done over these last 2 weeks. And in our next review question, we will be talking about our debate, which is for no points and just my own ego. Was the debate fun and worthwhile, not fun or worthwhile, fun but not worthwhile, or worthwhile but not fun? Well, I'm glad you all picked the correct answer, but there were no points there. When we talk about a mobility pattern, are we talking about the way we get around our cities and communities? One of those certain scary things you can borrow at Walmart, or a template for knitting socks for buses? Or is it just something I made up? It is the way we get around our cities and communities. So our next question, we're getting through this. I hope you're all reviewing. But mobility patterns have either not changed one bit or massively shifted due to COVID-19. Awesome. I don't think any further explanation is needed there. What are the 4 points of the iceberg model? Patterns, systematic issues, colonialism, and events. Events, patterns, trends. Events, patterns, and trends, underlying structures, and methodologies. Subliminal messages, conspiracy theories, trends, and propaganda, or none of the above. Awesome. Nearly everyone got that one correct, which is amazing to hear. Oh, the competition is really heating up, but this competition is only for knowledge. What is the name of the once thriving black neighborhood in Vancouver that's now modern day Gastown? Vancouver's Alley, Hogan's Alley, Thanos' Alley, or Hulk's Alley? Amazing job. Vancouver Alley is a good guess, but it was Hogan's Alley, named, I believe, Rachel, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, after Hogan, who was a prominent figure in that community.
Yep.
Very well done, everyone. On to the next question. What is placemaking? Is it a method of land distribution that places people based on age or sex? A construction term meaning taller and wider buildings? A way to set the table according to a local tradition? Or a strategy to collectively improve community well-being and prosperity? Excellent work. It is the community well-being and prosperity strategy.
Ooh.
Everyone is doing very well. How has redlining persisted and contributed to the disparity in COVID mortality in the U.S.?
The fact that there's no A or C labeled makes
Oh, no.
this a little bit more difficult to.
Well, that was a terrible mistake on my part. These should have been both red and yellow. But yes, so redlining has located communities of color by sites that give them an increased risk of many respiratory diseases, but also contributed to people needing to work in precarious or dangerous situations. But it looks like everyone is doing really well, which means that it seems like people really got something out of this program and that it's stuck with them. But we're in the end game of this Kahoot now. How can we improve disaster response? By just letting companies construct buildings as they want, by creating and reviewing safety and response plans, by giving artists the chance to create public works of art, or by avoiding it because disasters don't happen. I believe that is what we learned in Kieran's module. Well, who is credited for inventing the term intersectionality? Aubrey Gordon, Sabrina Parr, LaShonda Deluvic, or Kimberly Williams Crenshaw? This is hopefully something that we learned in one of Trinity's videos. It is the green one, and the red one is somehow true too, but that should be a mistake. Ignore this one. It was Kimberly Williams Crenshaw, and congratulations to everyone who got that correct. What is generally thought of as the first step of innovation? Action, research, gaining support, or affecting individuals? Research. Excellent. Now, true or false? A problem almost always has only a single cause. Excellent. Yes, it is almost always the case that problems have more than one cause, and that's something that relates to both intersectionality and to systems change. As we move on, some journalism questions. Short sentences are used for emphasis, patterns, rhythm, or all of the above. This one, not so much. We should hopefully have remembered that we use short sentences mostly for emphasis, not necessarily for rhythm or patterns. But as we move to the final two questions for points, journalism is storytelling that is true, fair, responsible, or all of the above. This one is not a trick like the last one. Journalism is true, fair, and responsible. So our final question is style guides. Which of the following is correct? 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., or 10 a.m.? Surprise, it's 10 a.m. But very good job, everyone. These last couple questions aren't for any points, but they should hopefully just let you know how we feel. How happy are we that you've been a part of FLAP? Are we, sort of happy? Pleased? Happy, but not to excess? Or are we overjoyed? We are, in fact, all overjoyed that you have been such great parts of FLAP. Our second to last question, will we be sad to see you go? We will be so sad. Will we be so sad? Will we be so sad? Or will we be so sad?
So,
I'm very sad to say that we will be so sad to see you all go. And finally, true or false? Every single FLAP fellow here today has a bright and inspiring future that we are excited to see develop.
False. Just kidding. No.
This one is, of course, true. So thank you all for participating in our little Kahoot. Hopefully it was a little bit of fun on this a little bit sad day. But most importantly, hopefully it was a nice little reminder of all the things we worked on over this last 2 weeks.
Who was the winner?
And the winner, oh my goodness, the winner. Well, how much do
Looks
we
like a
care about?
Karen.
But the winner is in third place, Maya, very well done. In second place, Alex, very, very well done. And in third place, Karen, who wrote some of the questions. Boo! Marina,
I'd like to thank.
and I just missed your name, but congratulations, everyone. Hopefully we learned a little bit and remembered a little bit more. But also, I hope we had a little bit of fun. But for our next little thing, we're going, do you remember back days ago on our first session, we made a little word cloud, and we talked about what we wanted to give to the group and what we hoped we got from the group. And just for a few minutes, we'd like to revisit that word cloud, and maybe think about those questions again. So if you all wouldn't mind picking up the phones you've just finished putting down for Kahoot or however else you were accessing it, and visiting pollev.com/flap685, everyone's favorite website. We'd like to share these same questions again, and examine maybe anything that's changed over these last 2 weeks. There, it should be the website there in the chat. But yeah, so just what gifts have you been able to bring to the FLAT program? Over the last 2 weeks, what things have you contributed? Thank you, Sophia, for correcting my link and giving it the proper formatting so it's clickable. I see that excitement and support and curiosity are both there. I'm very pleased to see that. Oh, so many good things. Thoughtfulness, creativity, curiosity, excitement. That's wonderful to see. Learning is best when it's exciting. And so hopefully, if you were able to bring excitement to the FLAT program, that means that you were excited. And hopefully that means you were learning too. And one other thing you might note is that the speed at which these are coming in compared to when we did this 2 weeks ago. You guys are so ready to share and so ready to support me in this activity and support each other in your sharing. It's really, really nice. And so yeah, we've been able to bring all of these gifts to the FLAT program. Our excitement, our patience, our creativity, our ideas. And thank you all so much for contributing to that. Soon, because you guys have been so enthusiastic about writing things up here, it might start to say that the the poll is full and that there's no more room because we cap it at 40 entries. But it's so wonderful to see all of this and to compare it to what we were thinking we could bring. There were a lot of things we were thinking we could bring, and seeing it here, what we did bring, they're all positive words. They're all words of support and encouragement and personal growth, and that's just so lovely to see. But unless you have any final things to add here, we'll take a quick screenshot of this. And are we ready to move on to the next question?
Yep.
So yeah, thank you guys so much. So our next question here.
So
What were you able to get?
is what gifts
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
from the It's okay, we should have coordinated this better. What gifts were you able to gather from the group over the last 2 weeks? It should be, I believe, the same. Yeah. So we've already talked about things that we hoped that people might bring us, that we hoped, that we might receive during this time. And we just wanted to see what kind of, what actually happened versus what we hoped. And I think this program has just been an incredible testament to just everyone's willingness and ability. Look at this, we have kindness and perspective and openness, warmth, intelligence. They're going pretty fast, I can't read them all, but basically I just think that this program has been a lovely testament to just everything that we have accomplished together. It's been great getting to know you guys, and wow, perspective, friendship. That is so great to hear that you guys are gathering all of these things from the program. The bigger the word, I believe the more people have entered it. Yes, Eric?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really great to just have this visual representation of everything that you guys have given each other, and I hope we've given you as well. Wow, perspective, skills, knowledge, friendship's pretty big too, and understanding. I think you guys are such empathetic, kind people, and so knowledgeable, so willing to share what you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's so great. We just got a very nice message from Alex in the chat. She said she had a little bit of lag and she had to drop off. But she said it's been lovely to hang out with all of us, and that she's very glad she was able to participate in. And she hopes that we will all be able to keep in touch. And I think that's a sentiment that's shared by more than just Alex. It's certainly something that I hope is true for all of you.
With that, Eric, have we filled out all the?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
this poll is full here. So
I'll take it. These will be posted on the leadership module.
Yeah.
Got it.
yeah, thank you guys all so much for sharing, and the speed and the willingness that you shared, and the amazing words you wrote as things to gather from the group over the last 2 weeks. It's so lovely to see. We'll be putting up in a couple of in a little bit a comparison between what we did for this on our first day, what we did on the last day, and I think you'll agree with me that it is quite striking. But just before we move on, what do you guys think from the result of these these 2 word clouds? Did you have any thoughts on what people said here, or any changes between these 2 compared to what we did at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the year, the beginning of these last 2 weeks?
I saw friendship. That's wonderful.
For sure, it's so nice to see friendship so big there. I'm not sure friendship was on what we did at the beginning, and I'm certain that it wasn't that big. Well, thank you guys all for sharing in that little activity. That was so nice. So we'd just like to just briefly have a little student discussion and a reflection from you guys about the FLAP program. And what we really want is to hear from every one of you. And this is,
Eric?
yeah.
Oh, so we reverse though? So we do the team first and then students, or the other way?
I thought we could start with just a little reflection and discussion from the students about what they heard, about what they thought of the FLAP program. We'd really like to hear from all the students. Just, it doesn't have to be very long. It could be 5 or 10 seconds, but we'd like to hear from everybody about one new thing you learned during the FLAP program, an accomplishment at FLAP that you're proud of, and maybe if you had a favorite experience from FLAP. This is particularly for all of our FLAP fellows. Is there anyone that would like to share first? And these questions here, I can share them on the screen so that everyone can see.
I'd love to go. I don't remember exactly what questions you had, but
So the questions were, what is one new thing you learned during the FLAP program? That's probably the most important one. And maybe if you had a favorite experience or an accomplishment that you were proud of.
I mean, I learned so much. Like I can't even begin to I don't know that so much. But I think the writing skills that I learned are amazing, and I'll go forward in my classes this year. The placemaking and learning about redlining and being more aware of issues and things that have been happening in our world for a long time, but I may not have been aware of them. And also too with the using Canva and Inkspace and stuff, all of those tools and things like that, and like how you can use social media. It's just, there's so many things. It's just awesome. So that I've definitely learned so much from the course leaders and from my fellow students. So yeah, that's great. I think the accomplishment I achieved, I think even just starting the program for sure is an accomplishment because I came upon the program accidentally, like completely not even looking for it. So it was such a surprise, and like I'm so glad that I happened to get an email from UBC being like, here's some opportunities. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I'll take a look. And I'm like, can't believe how fortunate I am that I've been able to do this. And plus that I like push past any anxieties and worries about starting and just going for it. So yeah, that's awesome. My favorite experience, I think, is just the whole group dynamic. Obviously I wasn't used to like Zoom or anything like that before the pandemic, but yeah, I love hearing everyone's ideas and feeling really positive about things, and that there's something fulfilling and full of meaning to look forward to with everyone here, and just working on new projects that can have an impact. It feels really, really good. So all around, just like awesome. Everything's just fab. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Is it okay if I go next?
Yeah, please.
Okay. One new thing that I learned during the FLAT program was like the life of a journalist. And I interviewed Sean, something that my very shy self wasn't used to doing, just calling some random journalist on the other side of the country. Very interesting experience. I'll never forget that. One thing that one accomplishment that I have is the article that I wrote about sexism against women in sports. I was lucky enough that a family friend is a PE teacher, and she is also she used to be a player on the national women's lacrosse team, but has since stopped. So I was very proud of the article that I wrote because I thought it really reflected on like what it's like to be a girl and have to deal with sexism in PE class every day. That's what I had to deal with. So I hope that I'll be able to inspire other girls to like stand up to sexism, because that's not right. And my favorite experience from FLAP is when we had to discuss that Pepsi ad, because I loved making fun of it. It was so bad, and I liked how we all had like, pointed out all the really like bad things that they put in there and how we could change that, how it could be a better ad and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for those experiences.
Thank you for sharing, Nicola. Is there anyone else that would like to share without being voluntold to?
Sure. So one new thing that I learned during the FLAT program, well, there's a lot of things, so I'll just say some of them. I did really, I improved my writing skills a lot to write a paper, and like in journalism to do a podcast. But I also learned how to use new programs, like for example, Canvas and Inkscape. So that I really like that. I also learned that you could find a new community very easily. So that was very cool. One thing that I accomplished or achieved during FLAT that I'm proud of, I think it's like what I did in art, because I did a collage, so that was pretty cool. I haven't finished my paper for journalism, but I'm pretty proud of it so far. And I don't know if I can pick a favorite experience from FLAP, but they were all really nice.
Thank you for sharing. That's very good to hear. Is there anyone else who would like to share right now?
Yeah, I can go next. So one thing I think a really big takeaway for me was viewing art as a medium for social change. I think I'd never thought of it in that way before. And well, obviously I also learned like journalism skills, design skills, and learning about places. One accomplishment I haven't finished my paper, but I know I will be really proud of it. And I'm actually eager to write more articles after I'm done it. So kind of, keeping to doing more journalism stuff. And favorite experience from Flap. I think I found the interviews really fun, like interviewing each other, and calling was interesting. And just meeting new people. Like I remember I privately messaged Zara about her piano, and that's how we started talking. And everyone here is just super friendly. So yeah, that's my favorite experience.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to share now?
If no one else wants to go, I guess I can. As some other people have said, like I've learned so much during the course of the FLOP program. One thing that was really memorable and notable for me was, I think it was like Rachel's module on implicit bias. Like that was a very eye-opening thing to learn about, and I didn't know how wide-reaching implicit bias was, and how much like even I like to think that I'm not biased, but I've learned that I really do have my own biases, which I need to look at and reflect upon. What is an accomplishment that you have achieved at FLAP? I'm in the process of writing my article for the journalism course, and so hopefully by the time I finish, hopefully I will be proud of that. So yeah, and do I have a favorite experience from FLAP? I really enjoyed all of the group activities, the debate and like the interviewing activities, the Kahoot and things like that. And another thing I really enjoyed was just reading other people's submissions in the discussion sections on the modules, because it was very interesting and really great to like listen and read what other people have to say and what other people think about different issues. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to share now?
I'll go if anyone else. Okay. One thing that I learned, same with everyone else. I learned so much from all the leaders, from the other FLAP fellows. It just one thing that really stuck in my mind was just how much art can like do for like the world. I never really thought about it that way, so that was like really cool. An accomplishment. I feel like same with Maya. Once I finish the piece that I'm writing, I would be like proud of that, hopefully. Favorite experience? I really enjoyed the activity we did yesterday with the mask. I thought that was super cool. And it was so nice seeing everyone's designs.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think.
I can go next.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like everybody else said, I really learned a lot from FLAP program. So I can't really pick one thing that I learned, because I learned so much from
journalism, about designs and placemaking. Like I learned so much new, so many new ideas and like different like perspective from like the discussions in the modules. Like I learned so much from the program. One accomplishment from the FLAP program for me is also the article I'm working on. Like I'm for sure gonna be like really proud once I've finished the article, I guess. My favorite experience, I also really like found it really cool about the mask, like the activity we did yesterday, that Rachel did. Like I found that really cool. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I believe it's just one more FLAP fellow to ask, but Pratik, would you mind sharing?
Actually, it's just been 3 days, but seriously, I've learned so much, like different perspective about the same thing, having variations, and basically having a very unique way of depicting something or showcasing one's ideas through. I really like Rachel's mask theme. It's very creative and a very innovative way to know what's going on in one's mind, and what is an accomplishment that you achieve at FLAP. And it's hard to guess one. I had so many achievements. I mostly am a shy type of a guy, so I don't open up very soon. I basically joined this FLAP course in order to open up to people, in order to open up to the world. So that is one thing that and do I have any favorite experiences? Actually, this is the sad part that I joined in late, so I don't have very much favorite experiences. But yeah, I like the debate part and the mask making parts. So yeah, these were my favorite experiences.
Well, thank you everybody for sharing. I hope this this little reflection gives us some nice warm fuzzy feelings and helps us know how to improve. But yeah, thank you everyone for sharing. It's been about an hour since we started, so it is the perfect time for a short little break. Thank you again, everyone, for being here today, and we'll see you all back here at 2:10.
Everyone, we're gonna start welcoming you back. Maybe a thumbs up if you're here. Looks like most of us are here. All right, so now is a time in which your FLAP course leaders have prepared a little something to say. Why don't we start out with Lucas?
So it's the end of our journalism course. Really grateful for all the things you guys have said about it. Really grateful for all the work you guys put in. Like you've submitted a lot of work for each module, and just going over the most recent assignment you did when you took the perspective of one of those standoff at Oka, and really wrote some like amazing things. And I could tell that, you know, a bit of my sort of writing lessons snuck into your writing, and that was really heartwarming. I've gotten one piece in so far, and it's really great. Thank you, Nicola. I'll have that piece back to you edited later today. And yeah, just been so incredible seeing the work you guys have been putting in and the work that's about to come. I thought just for my little bit, I would read you guys my contribution to the magazine. It is a letter from the editor. So it's sort of, you know, in the early pages of the magazine, what the reader is going to sort of see as the summary of what the magazine's about to be about, right? So keep in mind, this is a letter from me to our readers of the magazine. Earlier this year, bored while in quarantine, I found myself watching clips of old NBA games, namely games from the Lakers' 1992 playoffs, which were monumental for marking the end of the legendary Bird Magic rivalry of the 1980s. For the Lakers, that era ended in Game 4 of the first round against the Portland Trail Blazers. Yet, for some odd reason, though it was a home game, the Lakers didn't play their final game in Los Angeles. They played in the Thomas Mack Center in Las Vegas. That some odd reason was the 1992 Los Angeles riots. 4 days before that game tipped off in Las Vegas, 4 LAPD officers were acquitted for usage of excessive force and beating of a black man named Rodney King. The acquittal came in spite of the camcorder footage that showed the officers tasering King, beating him with batons, kicking and stopping him until he lay still. Human brains are designed to categorize information. Though a crow and a robin are vastly different species with vastly differing genotypes, it takes one look at both for our brains to sort them into the same mental category, which is birds. Princeton University researchers suggest that we experience events in the same way. Even in a sequence of related events, the brain will find a way to create partitions and sort the events into distinct mental categories. I imagine this ability to categorize is why we often divorce overlapping historical events from one another. Did you know that Martin Luther King and Anne Frank were born in the same year? That the most fatal month of the Spanish flu was just over 2 weeks before the armistice to end World War I was signed? Or that the worst incident of racial violence in US history, in which more than 100 Black Americans were killed and thousands injured as a means to dismantle a wealthy Black neighborhood, occurred just 2 months before Adolf Hitler became Führer of the Nazi Party? It's also why I might have to explain to my future grandchildren why so many were wearing face coverings when they took to the streets to protest the indefensible murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and countless others. That is, unless we reach a turning point, a point at which we as a society write history without the partitions that so limit the way we remember events. I dream of a future where the story of COVID-19 can't be told without acknowledging the disparity in death rates between racialized and white communities, where the fallout of the pandemic can't be recounted without recounting the history of redlining in North America. I hope when we reflect on the year 2020 that we remember the racism, the inequality, the housing insecurity, the health insecurity, the lives and the deaths, without any disconnect between events and issues. Whether you categorize our stories as individual issues unrelated to one another, or see a more abstract yet real connection between the underlying themes of our words, there is no right answer. All we have for you are the stories of those who fought for civil rights and those who recognized that our planet was dying, of how a pandemic affected the neurodivergent, of how being a woman affect our forays into athletics, of how we grappled with the new but familiar wave of racism, of who we were and how we lived. Astonishingly little has changed in the 28 years since that playoff game in Las Vegas. As I'm writing this letter, the Lakers are set to tip off a first-round home playoff game against the Portland Trail Blazers, again away from LA as the resistance against police violence continues on in the streets. But there is reason to hope. Players, coaches, and referees are united and kneeling during the national anthem. The backs of the players' jerseys feature statements like "Resist," "Black Lives Matter," and "Say Her Name." Gestures they may be, but they also stop us from that ever so easy mental categorization. They won't let us divorce basketball from racial injustice this time. They will not forget, and neither will we. Facts Editor-in-Chief, Lucas Lee.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for your words. That was really good. Next up, I think we have Rachel sharing a few words as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, everyone, you are also very talented and inquisitive, much more than I was at your age. That's just a given. I'm super impressed with all the work that you've put into these modules, whether they're mine, whether they're Lucas's or Kieran's. I just hope you're all able to take away, whether it's like some valuable skills, but just like a valuable way of interacting with art or interacting with written prose. Just to summarize like some of the learning materials that we've gone over, I talked about the importance of design as a medium for communication. I also touched on visual thinking strategies and how to digest art and design. We went over the iceberg model that a lot of you have already looked over in the second module, how systemic structures of oppression work both in and outside of the art world, and also just in the world we occupy every day. It's important to realize how important representation is in media and how that is also reflected in positions of power. Also think about the way that like social art has been in the past and has always been a vehicle for change in our society. Also being very critical of the messages that are being sent to you by the media, whether you are on or offline. See how these media images also influence the way that you interact with other people and the way that you interact with your family members as well. And I just encourage you all to develop skills as a well-rounded, whether you want to be a writer, focus in your community and be a placemaker, or whether that is in design as well. At Vax, like our goal for you all is to be as like concise and impactful communicators and creators as possible. I know that COVID has derailed a lot of people's plans right now, but like I'm super proud of you all for not allowing this weird collective kind of dystopian experience to stump or stagnate your desire to learn and to grow as individuals. I know that being in this certain age group right now is really tough. There's a lot going on for you guys. Yeah, I don't know how it would be to be between the ages of like 15 and 20 right now, trying to make sense of the world around me. But you guys are doing an amazing job. If any of you want to reach out to me, like I am here. If you want to touch base with your modules, you can obviously continue to message me on Canvas. I can also drop my personal email as well if you'd like to talk to me through that. And I can also give you my Instagram because honestly, I check that more often than I check anything else. Also, if any of you have questions about design or just need advice about trying to navigate the industry or trying to find opportunities, like please let me know as well. Also, if you guys need help with learning any new software, especially if it's specialized in Adobe. So if you need help with Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Procreate, all these other things, like I'm pretty well versed in those. So yeah, please give me a shout as well. Just for like some closing words, I just want to thank you all so much for sharing your art with me. It's meant so much to me. Like it's very, as Keiko said before, really gratifying being like creating a course, creating a module and having people interact with it and digesting the instructions in different ways. There's like no right or wrong way to do these things. So it's like really cool seeing how like different thought processes that everybody else goes through. So I'm very thankful for seeing all of your perspectives. Also, like, thank you to the few people who like reach out to me outside of this. Like, thank you, Alex, for sharing your music with me. That's been really cool. I follow you on Spotify now. Taryn Pri, I'm not sure she's still here, but she shared her makeup page with me on Instagram, and that was really cool too. But yeah, you all are super awesome, and I'm sure all of you will go really far in whatever avenues you choose to go down. So yeah, and I just have a little closing quote to share with you guys by Adam Savage. This is what it says. So remember that you have time to figure out what you want to do and who you need to be and where you want to go. You have time to fail, you have time to mess up, and you have time to try again. And when you mess that up, you still have time, just so as long as you're willing to work hard. So those are the parting words I want to leave with you guys. But yes, once again, thank you so much for taking part in this.
Rachel, thank you so much for your kind words of encouragement and support. Kieran?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, but thank you more recently, Rachel and Lucas. So I really just want to thank everyone for all of your hard work and dedication. I know that there's been a lot to do, and I really commend everyone for their persistence and their kind of ingenuity. I mean, especially in both the summer and during, you know, such a kind of difficult health crisis to navigate. Has come with all of the changes and challenges that we kind of are all dealing with. I've really enjoyed all of your submissions and the assignments, and the discussions have been really, really amazing. I've learned a lot, and I haven't been able to respond to all of them, but I look forward to kind of getting through to everything, and I hope we can kind of continue the discussion on Canvas or whatever platform. I've just kind of, you know, thinking about this, I've just been reflecting kind of on the course and the current state of affairs in the world. And a couple things have really kind of jumped out at me. One of these things, I think it was kind of discussed in all of the courses, but really how interconnected both people and events really are, and how infrequently things really happen in isolation. And I think that sometimes this can feel really overwhelming, you know, but I think that it points to a really hopeful reality, and it's kind of how the actions of a single person can really shape the world that we live in, just by creating a small change that grows and grows. And kind of looking at the different initiatives that we discussed in the course, I became really hopeful. I became hopeful because in these we can see individuals taking it upon themselves to fight for futures that they want. I'm also really hopeful because I've been fortunate enough to meet all of you. I've been able to see how bright and how driven and how kind of socially aware and how, you know, how much you care. And I have no doubt in my mind that you all will be very involved in making this world a better place. So that's been very gratifying and brought a lot of happiness to me. And, you know, as we've kind of discussed placemaking and its importance in creating places which are kind of sustainable and reflective in the people that inhabit them. I mean, this really means that it's on individuals that make up these communities to design the spaces, design the lives, design the futures that they want to live in through collaboration and through their own actions. So I urge all of you moving forward to really consider the future that you want and how you can become a part in creating that future. I know in terms of placemaking and using art to change the world. I mean, obviously we're all involved in something right now that's focused on that, but there's a huge amount of organizations that take part in kind of creative placemaking and community-based projects all around the world. I really hope that, you know, some or all of you can take part in that. I think that this is a time where it's so important to be forging these new connections and really taking part in these initiatives. And I mean, I think that, you know, while this last 6 months has been really strange and difficult, I think that it's really exciting and it holds a lot of opportunity. As we see around us, there's oppressive systems are being challenged, and changes in space reflect kind of this resistance. So once again, like I urge you all to get involved. I mean, I have looked mostly in Vancouver because that's where I am, but there's constantly projects that are kind of going on, and I'm happy to link people to them if they're interested. I think it's really cool. They offer very unique and interesting experiences in the photography placemaking program that really allows me to refocus my creative output in a way that can contribute to redesigning the community to be more representative and just kind of reflect people here. So, I mean, at the end, I just want to encourage you to all, you know, continue doing your thing, continue being passionate, being creative, and you know, reach out to me if you have any questions about anything, whether that be like placemaking, using arts, photography, really anything in between. I've done some schooling too, so if you have any questions about how not to plagiarize, following up on Lucas's discussion, I think that's always a important one. So I'm happy to put my email in the group chat. And yeah, just thank you for being part of this, and thank you for listening and contributing and making it a really gratifying and impactful experience.
Kieran, thank you so much. Keiko?
Okay, so as I was reflecting on our 2 weeks engagement and searching for words for today, for closing, 2 phrases came up in my mind. So I like to share that with you. So let me share screen. Hope it works. Let's see, keynote, share. So, oops. Oh, sorry. Let me try it again. Okay. Are you seeing the screen? Everyone?
Yeah.
Oops. What do you see?
Isolation associated with.
No. That's not what I wanted to share. What was the? Where did it go? Okay, let me stop share. And try it again. Where did it go? Sorry, folks. I really want to show this image. Okay, let me try it again. Sorry about this. I don't know what happened. Note. Share. Okay. Oh, good. I apologize. Okay, let me try again. Oh, I sort of. What do you see?
We see a slideshow.
Sure.
Ichigo, or Ikigo, Iki.
Okay, so you see the.
Now it's isolation again.
Oh. Okay. You know what? I don't know what happened. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna stop sharing. So, okay, you know what, maybe you saw, I don't know what happened. So maybe I'll just speak.
Keiko, try select starting the presentation and then clicking share screen.
Right now, screen share, and then?
So is the presentation open in full screen?
Yeah.
And then maybe if you say screen share. Yeah, so click play up at the top.
Yeah, and then, but I have to do new share, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can. Yeah.
Sorry,
So now
sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I will just speak. So there's a Japanese word, ichigo ichie. I just want to show this, just the tea ceremony one. But anyway, so the ichigo ichie, it's a Japanese sort of a full character idiom linked to a Japanese Buddhism. It literally means like a one time, one meeting. And it's about concept of transient. And the term can be traced back to like a 16th century expression by a tea master, Sen Norikyu. And this expression really means that even though tea host and guest may see each other quite often socially, but one day's gathering can never be repeated exactly. So the meeting is indeed a once in a lifetime occasion. So with that spirit, the tea host accordingly takes the greatest care with every aspect of the gathering and devote himself or herself the greatest care with every aspect of gathering, and nothing is rough. So the guests, for their part, they understand that gathering can't occur again, and appreciating how host has flawlessly planned it. And also they guests participate with the true sincerity. This is what is meant by one time, one meeting, and people meet every time as if this were last time. So that's the Ichigo Ichie. So reflecting on our 2 weeks long engagement, I felt that our meeting was just like that, carrying that spirit. Even though nothing was perfect, we all did our part and we are truly present. So for that, I wholeheartedly thank all of you, both FACS teachers, instructors, and the FLAP fellows for sharing your insights, ideas, and creations. And Baxim carefully, thoughtfully prepared very diligently each meeting in each module, and all FLAP students kept showing up and engaged actively, creatively. We can't really recreate that. So thank you. Thank you for being here. As we share our creation with others, we create a meaning in our lives and sharing a gift that ties to another truth, which is, when you discover something wonderful and beautiful, you pass it on. You give it to someone else as a gift. Even though you may want to keep it to yourself, the true magic is that in gifting that beauty to someone else, sharing not just what you've been creating, but also what others have done that impacted us. So that's how our humanity has survived and continued. So that was all about FLAP program for me, and this is something that I like to do more of. So Ichigo Ichie, remember the expression. This is a key to success in everything. So there you have it. Another phrase, can anyone think of what I'm going to share? What the next phrase? Well, obviously that's a difficult question. It's definitely not a Japanese, but okay, another hint. Flap, I use the flap, comes up. I had to share this screen, just hold on. So the next phrase that I think of is this. Do you see? I don't know, everyone see it? Can see? Okay, yeah. So yeah, for this one, I guess there's no explanation is needed. By the way, this is a kind of the case. And I just wish all the best for your whatever your endeavors and for the future. And I'm really looking forward to hearing all about your future accomplishment. And thank you again. I will leave it that. Thank you. So back to Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Kaiko. And yeah, thank you everyone for sharing. Kaiko mentioned things that don't always work perfectly, and that's important for this next section, because we're coming to the conclusion of this whole FLAP thing, and we'd like to present you with a certificate of completion. And so, in the spirit of that, and in the spirit of levity and fun, we'd like to have a very short, perhaps a little bit silly, graduation ceremony for you.
Eric,
so
sorry, before we start that, Trinity's computer crashed and she says she's in the waiting room right now.
Oh, no, goodness. There she is. We'll admit Trinity, because she is very important for this graduation ceremony. But we will send to everyone a virtual Zoom background that you can put up. It's not mandatory, but we would like it very much. This is for all of you who are graduating from FLAP instructors. That is, it's not necessary. I suppose you could if you truly wanted to, but we will send this Zoom background to everyone. You can download it from the chat and set it up as your Zoom background. To do that, all you'll need to do is go to the little arrow next to, you'll need to download it from the chat, click on the up arrow next to stop video, and then choose virtual background. Then the little plus button in virtual backgrounds, then you should be able to select the file you downloaded it and use it as your virtual background. And since this is a graduation ceremony, while you guys are working through this, we thought we'd play a little bit of traditional music.
How do you put it back?
So to find your background, you want to download the background from the chat, and then click the little arrow next to the stop video camera icon. Select choose virtual background. Be able to find the choose virtual background option menu.
Kind of. It's just, I don't know where to go. I'll just leave it. It's fine.
And then in the virtual background menu, you might see it says done, that there's a picture of a Golden Gate Bridge and some grass. So we're all very proud of you for graduating. Thank you for those of you who put up the virtual backgrounds. Some of you are like me, where it will turn your face into part of the background as well. But it's silly, it's fun, and we just wanted to share it with you. But next, we will pause the Elgar, because although Elgar is traditional for graduation, he's a very loud and boomy composer. And Trinity will be able to share her screen with you for a second. Did she manage to make it back in?
Yes, I'm here now. Okay,
Oh, there.
Yeah. You can play it like maybe a little quieter.
Yeah, we'll play it a little quieter. Well, Trinity shares her screen with you and reads your name out and emails you your certificate. If you'd like, you may applaud. And if you really would like, you may say a few very short words as you graduate the FLAP program.
It is, in fact, encouraged to applaud. So I would like to call, who's here? Sorry, we have a lot of certificates. Not everyone can make it today. I would like to call Pratik Kumar to stage. Congratulations, you made it.
Thank you.
Applause. And I'm gonna send this. You now have a diploma. Sophia, bye. Oh, I hope you guys don't mind your emails being displayed. Oops. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Congratulations, Sophia. Nicola, congratulations for making it through FLAP.
Yay! Thank you.
Is Taranpreet not here? Alex isn't here. Zara, congratulations for making it through FLAP. Thank you. Remember, if you want to say like a few words or something, go ahead. Marina, congratulations for making it through FLAP. Unmute to clap. We want to hear it. Maya, congratulations for making it through FLAP. Alice, congratulations for making it through FLAP. And I think, if I'm not missing anyone, Nai, you're the last person here to not receive a certificate. So congratulations again for making it through FLAP. So that was our little graduation ceremony. We'd like to take a group picture now, I think. If the background's not working for you, that's okay. But if the background is working for you, I would encourage that you use it. Yeah. So I guess I can take the picture. Yeah, put up a background if you can. If you can't, that's okay too.
If it looks like you're part of the Blue Man group, you still put up the background? Yes?
You know, why don't we do one where everyone does the background, even if it's kind of bad, and then we'll do one like where not everyone does the background.
Okay.
Great idea.
Oops. Okay, is everyone ready? No? Actually, I'm not ready, shoot.
I still can't found because mine only have like a none and a plus, and then there's nothing else. I don't know why.
Were you able to download the file from the chat?
And then if you hit the plus button, you should be able to add this as a background.
I don't see a file in the chat.
Well, would you happen to be using your phone?
No, I'm on my iPad, so I guess that's.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but this photo where many people have turned into part of the Blue Man group, and some of us are a disembodied head, will probably not be the one we use. This is just for a little fun.
Okay, everyone say cheese. Cheese. Wait, keep smiling, I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna say that. And now you may turn off the virtual background if it's not working out for you.
Trinity, can you Photoshop my face onto my picture? Because I'm just a blob.
I will do my best, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if the background isn't working for you, you can turn it off now. And we'll do another one. So, is everyone ready? Okay. 3,
2, 1, 6, 6 something. I don't know. And that is our group photo. We'll be sharing those later.
Yeah.
Thank
you. So that's our little graduation. Congratulations, everyone. You are all FLAP program graduates. You can give yourself a group round of applause. And we are into this short section of our final session where we talk about beyond FLAP. And the first thing is connecting beyond FLAP. One of the biggest words on the word cloud we did today was friendship. And another big one was connections. And we don't want today to be the end of that. So for those of you who are comfortable, we would like to seek your permission to share your email address with the emails of the rest of the group. So if you'd like to be a part of an email exchange, please just raise your hand, and I'll actually just do a very quick roll call here to see if people would be okay with that. Nayu, would you be okay sharing your email? Yes, you have a thumbs up. Maya, you have a hand up. Sorry, no, that's your chair. Alice, would you be okay with that? Yes, hands up. Is that everyone with their hand up? Does anyone have their hand down? It doesn't look like it. Okay, then I think we're all good to share with everyone. Thank you. That's really important because we want this community that we've developed today to continue beyond 3 o'clock today. Yeah, we hope that this, because you are really an amazing group and you've developed such a strong relationship. We want to see that continuing. But beyond FLAP, even though this is our last live session, the program does continue. You'll be able to submit your articles to Lucas. You'll be able to work through any modules you didn't finish up till the end of August. That's where we'll be available for questions. You can reach out to us. There's just no more live sessions. We also don't want to suggest that this is the end of your learning with regards to social artistry and art leadership. One thing we'd really like to point out is the New York Times student contests. We'll have the link available for you later, but the New York Times runs a large selection of contests for students. These are art-based, they might be community-based, but they're places where you can get inspiration to work and complete a project and maybe even win something or win a feeling of doing well for having done something good for you in your community. So we really love for you to continue your learning there. We'd also like for you to continue your learning here in maybe your learning outside of here. Where many of you are youth, you're students, and as you go back to education in September, no matter what that looks like, be it in school or online, we hope that you'll continue to bring the principles and what you've learned over these 2 weeks with you, and to maybe even share what you've learned here with everyone, and that way we can have a really, really great impact. The quick final thing is to say that you can, of course, continue with the Vancouver Arts Colloquium Society. VAX runs more than just the FLAP program, and if you want to continue with VAX, we would love to have you. You're all exceptional students and youth, and you would be great assets to the VAX nonprofit. So please reach out to Kaiko. You can find her information on the VAX website if you want to continue, and in particular with the intergenerational mentorship she talked about yesterday. We'll be sending out a short little evaluation about us and about the FLAP program that we'd love it if you were able to complete within a couple days of receiving it. Beyond that, though, this is sort of it. Trinity and I have a few final words to share, and then that's FLAP Live. But you have all been such an incredible group. You've been an amazing group to work with. The learning that has gone on here has been so far beyond what anyone could have imagined when we started this program. And it's because of the incredible effort and knowledge and learning that you guys put in. It's a challenging world out there. Things are really weird and really uncomfortable for everybody. But your being here as part of FLAP shows that you have a commitment to more than just yourself in these trying times. You care about the world that you live in and the communities that you serve. And if you guys were here today, and if you continue to share this, I have no doubt that we can recover from this weird little bump in these times. You've all just been so amazing, and the fact that you're here fills me with hope for what we can accomplish in the future. Trinity, if you have any final words. I know that was a little short, but yeah.
Good, yeah. There's nothing that I can say that hasn't been said 1,000 times, basically, because it's all true. You guys are so awesome. It's been a pleasure to meet all of you. It's been a pleasure to you guys are all just such bright, like awesome, kind-hearted individuals. And it is wonderful to see that you're all engaged in your communities, that you're ready to learn, and that you're determined to make a change. And I just can't wait to see where you guys are going to go next. If no one has anything else to say, I think that concludes our last live
Can we
session.
give a round of applause for our wonderful MC, Trinity, Eric? Thank you.
No, I thought we were applauding them. I don't applaud myself. Yeah.
You guys did an amazing job for all 2 weeks. Thank you.
But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. For the last time, that's it for FLAP. We won't see you next week, but I am certain that we will see you all in the future. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.